and we're getting into it. So, Billy, great to meet you. Thank you for taking a minute out today. I appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I think I had to reschedule this one, so it's great that we were able to get this
Oh,
connected. I
yeah.
think I messed it up once.
Oh, no, we're good. We're good. It's all first world problems,
Awesome.
but we're here. We're going to get into the marketing. We're going to get into the good work that you're doing. But before we do that,
Cool.
6 years ago, this pandemic was changing our lives, rearranging
Mhm.
so many things. How did you get through that era, and how has it changed the way that you work and live today?
Oh, how did I get through it? Oh, that. So the day job is actually real estate. So the day job that keeps the lights on, crushed. Everybody was sitting in their houses and they didn't want their house anymore. The fun job is the marketing, and I've had the real estate and the marketing go hand in hand, and I've had both companies for quite some time. The marketing, I just went digital. I just went virtual like this, and I started doing podcasts, and I started doing things to help local businesses more. I started doing spotlights to say, have little meetings like this and record them and say, hey, when are you open? What are you selling? How can people help you? Where's your link to gift cards? And I started really doubling down on trying to help local businesses more because they really felt the squeeze. And so we did some of that. We did some charity. We did some other things too to try to get more awareness and more information out there. And I just did a lot of that. And that's kind of how I adjusted.
Well, so talk to me a little bit right now between the day job and the marketing. If I put you in front of a bunch of 13-year-olds at career day, and one of the kids wanted to know what you do for a living, how do you synthesize your work world to make sense to their brains?
Usually I go with the marketing because the marketing is more fun.
Yeah.
People understand real estate, and I get a couple of questions that way, but I usually double down on the marketing because we do a lot of community stuff. We do a lot of community programs. We do help, I hope local businesses frequently. And we're out in the community and they probably have seen me at things. And so they know they've seen the logo, they go to things, they go to farmers markets, and we're always out there. And so usually I talk to them about marketing and the importance of voice and the importance of giving and all the different things that make my marketing company unique.
So, what did you want to be when you were that age? What was your dream job when you were a kid?
When I was, wait, seventh grade?
Yeah.
Oh, could we do like a ridiculous, unrealistic one?
Oh,
That my
those are the best.
those are the best. I wanted to play in the NBA. I thought I was going to be an NBA player. I was back in the day when it was the Lakers and it was the Showtime Lakers with James Worthy and Magic Johnson, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go play with those guys because I'm good.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I love that era. I watched because
No.
I was a big I'm a big sports guy. My son's more into
Yeah.
the NBA now. I'm more into baseball, but I was rewatching 40 years ago that Larry Bird thing happened yesterday.
Oh, it's
And I
crazy.
mean those moments that were happening then. You don't want to be that old guy in the room saying, "Yeah, I remember back in the day," but man, there was some stuff that was happening that was crazy, you know?
Oh, those two saved the NBA, if you ask me,
Yeah, they
because the
did.
the everybody tuned in, whether you're a basketball fan or not, just to see like the country boy that was kind of humble and quiet, and then the loudmouth Magic Johnson who was all flash and showy, and
Yeah,
they'd bump into each other and play each other. Everybody kind of at least paid attention to
they did. They did. It was just part of what we kind of
it, even
tuned
if you weren't
into.
basketball fans, just to see. Yeah, it was. It's fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Larry Bird grew up really poor, and he literally to this
Mhm.
day doesn't spend any money, lives very modestly. He's a little bit like Berkshire Hathaway, William Buffett. He's kind of like
Buffett,
that.
yeah,
Yeah, has that
yeah,
mentality. So
yeah.
it's interesting.
It's a fun story.
Yeah, for sure. So let's go back to your childhood. Where were you born and raised?
Oh, I was near Buffalo, Erie, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
One of the coldest inhabitable places in America. It was just so
Wow.
darn cold all the time because the lake effect snow. And
Yes.
as soon as I got old enough, I'm like, I need to go see the sun, and I need some sunshine and warm weather, and I'm out of here.
So where did you move to? Did you move here where you're at now?
Yeah, so yeah, I'm actually been here in the DMV area, and I've been here for a while. I came down actually back then. It was a teaching gig, so I came down to teach and coach. And that parlayed itself into a real estate career because I couldn't sit still during the summers. I know some people enjoy their summers. I am not a sit around and do nothing. So I started flipping houses and eventually decided just to get my own license so I could flip houses more efficiently. And as I was doing that, I had to market myself at the same time. So the marketing company kind of took off. And so left the teaching behind, but some of the principles and core ideas of being a teacher stayed with me throughout that real estate marketing career. So that's the quick and easy of origin story.
So how long have you been there in the DC area?
Oh, 20, I would say 26-ish
Okay.
years. Yeah, somewhere in
So
there.
So you've seen a lot of administrations come in and out, and I'm curious. We talked
Yeah,
before we got on about the
yeah,
feeling and the electricity and the buzz of living in that area because we feel it radiating out in the country, but when you're
yeah.
right there, it's different. What administration, what era was like one of the best, the most comfortable that you just felt like there was this wonderful kindred spirit in the air?
Oh man. Well, the problem is I didn't pay attention when I was younger. I was just like, get to work, do my things, make
Right.
the money. So I didn't really, when I started getting older, I started paying attention a little more. So I didn't really start paying attention really till like the Obama years. And that was just because that was just historic. Whether you're taking sides, I don't care. I'm not very
Sure.
political, but it was historic because of the nature of the situation. And I got a lot of buzz around it. Kind of like the
Uh-huh.
Larry Bird, Magic Johnson thing we were talking
Yeah.
about earlier, right? Whether you're for or against it, you were paying attention to see what happened and how it went. And so I think that one was first piqued my interest. And I'm like, oh, let's see what's going on with this and see where America's going because this is a different turn. This is a different avenue, and this is things seem to be changing a little bit. And I just wanted to pay attention. I don't think I cared or took sides necessarily, but it was definitely a shift in mentality. And so, and DC was buzzing. Like you saw pictures of that inauguration. It was packed
Yeah,
with
yeah.
people, and I think that was interesting. And then I just don't pay as much attention. I'm not a big political guy. I just kind
Gotcha.
of stay out of my house and stay out of my wallet. That's my two mantras for
100%.
politics.
Well, I would have assumed that era would have been special because there was
Yeah,
so much going on. There was a different buzz to it. So,
yeah, it
how did a
was.
kid from Erie, Pennsylvania, grow up to become a real estate guy and a marketing guy? And what were the seeds that were planted? What did you
Oh,
see? What did you learn? What made you who you are today?
you know what? That's a great question. I don't know if there's anything one specific thing. I did grow up kind of in the farm. They would send me out to the farm when I was younger. My grandfather out there, and I saw even in his 70s, like was just a workhorse. Like he didn't really take days off, but at the same time, he was really kind about it. Like we work hard, we help each other out. We're in this together. And even at like a young age, like 8, 7, 8, 9, we're out there fixing fence and feeding cows and doing stuff when it's like 10 degrees. And we're like, you just go out there, we got this. And it was just more of just a team feeling, even when we were just younger, working hard, doing stuff. And I think that's what's really carried because my father took the same principles. We're in this together. We're working hard together. We're all in this together. So when I started doing the real estate and started doing these other things, like I know I'm going to work hard and I know I'm going to try to get some people to work on my side. I'm going to be very open to, being kind of a team and getting allies to working together on things because that's always been kind of the mantra, I think, growing up. I think that's kind of where I got it from.
So, who's been that hero, that inspirational force that's consistently allowed you to evolve and to find your place professionally in the world?
Oh, one hero? Yeah, it's a tough question because there's always like 10. You always have
Multiple,
seasons
yeah,
in our lives.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you're gonna box me in and say pick one, my favorite child type thing, yeah, probably my grandfather, my father, my grandfather. But I think those are the same because grandfather taught my father his principles. But I think, my grandfather was probably the one that I always step back and I'm like, am I working hard enough? Am I doing the right things? Am I being kind to others? The golden rule type things. Like, I think he embodied that the most. And I usually, as frequently as I can, take that step back and I'm like, all right, what would he be proud of? The type of thing. And so I take that step back as often as I can. And I know my father's the same because, all the cut from the same jib, as they say. So he's definitely the same type of person. But yeah, my grandfather.
The one thing about dreaming really high about getting in the NBA, and I remember when I was a kid, I was thinking maybe Major League Baseball or something. Although
There you go.
I was 4'11" in high school, I didn't have a shot. I mean, I was a runner, like it wasn't going to
It's,
happen.
yeah.
But the idea of this question is that when you dream big, there's these people that you admire. There's these things that
Yeah.
you want to do with life. If if you could meet one person alive on the planet right now that you find fascinating, that you would have a lunch with, that might help you on your journey? Who would you love to hang out with for a little while? Anybody.
He's got to be alive to
Well, we could
hang
do a
out with.
ghost. We could do a ghost, and we could do someone alive and a ghost.
Okay, we'll do um alive, somebody I want to hang out with. I'll do one of each, yeah. To hang out with. Oh, I would see Ghost. Let's do Ghost first.
Yeah,
Um, Wooden, James.
John Wooden.
Oh man, John Wooden. I think John Wooden was fascinating as a
Yeah.
person and his discipline. And he was playing professional ball while also coaching while working on the railroad with his like his bare hands in the summer. And you're like, that kind of work ethic is almost impossible. And yeah, I think he would be a fascinating person just to sit down with in his prime and just talk about things. Um, Alive right now that I think is just fascinating. Um, Neil deGrasse Tyson. I
Yeah.
find that guy, man, and that dude, and he's just so open-minded and has such a different perspective of the common problems we're running into. I would love to be able to break down problems like he does because we always get in our tunnels of, this is the solution, and we just get in our ruts of this is how we fix problems. And he always, when I listen and read his stuff, just hits stuff at a different angle and just brings different perspectives. And you're like, I would never thought to look at it like that.
Yeah.
But I would love to sit down and pick his brain a little bit too. So
Yeah,
there you
I
go.
I listened to an interview that he did on Rogan a little while back, and it was fascinating.
Yes,
He
it
was
is. I saw that one too.
Yeah, he opened up pretty. But you know what? It's interesting about that Wooden era. It's like Ted Williams and those other players that went to war and came back, right? Like, so
Yes,
they're over
yes,
flying planes. I mean, there's things they're seeing they won't even talk about
yeah.
when they come back here. And then they're in front of like 50,000 hitting a home run a week later. Like Wooden. Like,
It's
there was a
nuts.
level of them that I think never wanted to get rid of that blue collar fabric, you know?
Yep,
Kind of like with Buffett that we were talking about. I think there's an
yep.
acumen that if you don't stray too far away from your beginnings, you're always going to be tied in and be more effective, right?
Yes, and then we should probably all take that on a little bit more in our lives and have that little humility, take that step back and reflect. Not, and I don't think any of them was like, it wasn't fear or anything. It was always confidence, but confidence mixed nicely with humility.
Yeah.
It was just yeah, it was such an interesting perspective.
You know what's interesting right now? Mr. Sonny Rollins, the jazz legend, passed away 2 days ago. He was
Oh, I didn't see
95.
that.
And I interviewed him, and I remember thinking, when I think about
Really?
the pantheon of legendary people that are in that art form specifically, the higher up you go, the more humble they are. They embody that wooden
Mhm.
thing. They
Yeah.
just never got rid of. There was a story I heard at one point where, after 9/11, when the towers fell, there was an interviewer that was interviewing a guy playing a saxophone on the street. And he was just playing it for the first responders. And she goes up and she's interviewing him. She has no idea who she is. She's like, "Hey, by the way, who are you?" And he said, "My name's Sonny." And she's like, "Sonny who?" "Sonny Rollins. He went to ground zero after all that happened."
Really?
Yeah, and played for first
Huh.
responders. So,
I did
yeah.
not know that.
Isn't
That's
that
cool.
wild? And that's just the
Yes.
nature. He's one of the biggest, most famous humans that played music at that point on Earth. And he's just down there at
It's
ground
wild.
zero. And this interviewer is probably in her 20s, never listened to jazz, and is like, "Who are you?" So
That is wild.
yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
wild.
So, what is the energy for you every day? You got this duality of professions. You have your soul,
Mhm.
your family, all these things going on. What is the energy every day when your alarm clock either does or doesn't go off to charge forward and do it at a high level?
The energy, I get up and work out first thing every day. At like 5. I'm a 5 a.m. guy. And I wasn't like that growing up. Like I just
Right.
have become 5 because of the convenience.
Yeah.
So it's that every day it's getting out, working out, and you do it for the family. That's the attitude. That's the energy is like, this is the thing I'm doing. When I get up and work out, I'm staying healthy so that way I can, get my kids around and do the things they need from me. And I'm not like broken down or falling apart or, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. So yeah, that's kind of the energy is get up. Let's start working for everybody. Let's start, get some exercise in and get the kids up and ready for school and do all the different things, the mundane stuff. And then once the kids are all up and out of here, then we start working in the business. We take our shifts.
So let's say you have a dream tonight. You run into that young version of you from Erie, Pennsylvania, with dreams of being on the parquet, playing the big games.
Nice.
And you walk into a
Yeah.
room at your age now and you click play on a film projector and there's a 60-second highlight reel of the life you've lived. Would that
Yeah.
young version of you believe your life turned out this way?
Um, some parts of it, yes. Some parts of it, no. Because I mean, they thought I was going to be, when you're a kid, you're like, I'm going to play basketball or be around sports and do all that stuff. And that hasn't been the way. I ended up, doing marketing and stuff. But the marketing and thing is those are the creative elements. That the part I think they would that my younger self would believe like, oh, you're doing creative things, you're helping others, you're doing like, oh yeah, that part I get. You're working hard at it every day. Yep, nope, I get that part. It's just I think younger people like have this big grandiose like you're gonna be famous, you're gonna have all these accolades, and it's not always the case. Some days you just plug away and do the everyday normal things. You don't always get like the banners and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think he would be disappointed in like not being big and famous, but the attributes I think would resonate really well.
So let me ask you this. Out of that highlight reel, what are you the happiest about? What are you the proudest of?
One thing again, you're making me pick this favorite child thing. This is a tough one. The one thing I think is the family. The family we work together really well as a family, and I think that's something that my wife and I work really hard on. Be sure we're all on the same page. We're working together. We're one unit. We're a team, and I think it's not easy doing that. And I
Yeah.
think that's probably what I'm most proud of.
So let's say you walked into a room right now, everybody that's known you professionally between marketing and real estate, and you walk in and you walk to a podium and you can tell them one fun story about your life. Maybe the best game you played in, the best game you witnessed, the
Hmm.
first concert you went to, jumping out of an airplane. Just a fun story that would humanize you a little bit to that room. What fun story would you tell that room?
The story, it doesn't matter what era in my life. It
Oh,
isn't young.
it's open.
It's open. So, of course, there's different seasons of our lives. It'll depend on what you get into. I would tell one or two stories. One, it would be a fundraiser charity thing we run every year, a food truck festival thing, which I really enjoy being part of. Like that would be one of the stories. Or if it was my younger days, when we were young, we won a basketball state championship, and it was like right out of the movie Hoosiers. So I think it would be one of those two stories, probably like our Hoosier story or our food truck charity story. I think those are probably the two that I would tell.
So let me ask you this. It's interesting you bring up the state championship. My day job is as an IT technician for a school district, and I do some PR
Nice.
stuff. So I take pictures and video. And in 2019, right before the pandemic, the basketball team here won state back-to-back
Oh,
state, and
that's
I
awesome.
I took pictures and video, and it was weird being on the sidelines. There was so much pressure. Like I typically don't take medicine for headaches. I came away from there and I was just like, whoa, what happened? Like it was just like
Yeah,
it was so
the
weird
adrenaline.
because there was just like you were it was like I was submerged underwater and it
Yeah.
was like a weird Val Kilmer movie. And like when I came up, I was like, what just happened? It was the weirdest thing. So playing out there and feeling that whole spectrum of emotions that culminated with the celebration, what was that feeling like? Did time kind of feel weird?
Uh, no, I wouldn't say time would feel weird. It was one of those, you know what it was? Like we as a team back then, the day we lost the last game of the last season, the next day we got to work. We're like, this isn't happening again. We are going to together. And we didn't say anything but we're winning this. This is what's going to happen. And so the goal the whole year, during the summer camps, during the practices, during gatherings, during anything, that was the goal. And we all knew it. And nothing diverged from that goal.
Wow.
And so when it happened, you're kind of like, yeah, this is kind of how I pictured it. This was the dream I had. And you appreciate it. I just kind of sat in the moment. You're like, yeah, this is the thing we've been talking about for a year. This is the thing that we practiced at for a year. This is, this is where we belong. This is the thing we wanted.
I love it. I think about the Royals in 2014. We went to game seven. We almost
Yeah.
beat the Giants. That next year, it was laser focus. We went right in there and won the
Yes.
championship, right?
Yep.
So I
Yep.
totally get what you're saying. And all of us at the end of that 14th season was just like, because we didn't expect to be there at all. I mean, it was our first playoff game in 30 years. We just thought, oh, this is going to be great. We get it
It's gonna
finally.
be fun.
And then it just all
Yeah.
of a sudden got to game seven. So yeah, that's interesting. Um, which is the beauty of
And it
sports.
resonates. It resonates in lives too. Like,
Yeah.
let's say, you have a big pitch or a big presentation or you did a job interview, like that same feeling still there.
Uh-huh.
So when I was interviewing for jobs, like the first job I didn't get, you know what? Like that was, hey, I was here, I did it, I didn't do it right. Like you just shift. You're like, all right, now the goal is this. This is the focus. We're not diverging until, we get that job or whatever it's going to be. You didn't get picked for this or you didn't get a raise. Whatever the thing is, like I've always had that mentality is once you don't get the thing,
Yeah.
all right, this is what we're doing. Like
That's it.
it's going to happen. We're going to focus until this thing happens. And so I've always kind of had that mentality ever since those days.
The true heart of an entrepreneur. That's it right there. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
you just
yeah.
you fall down and get back up. Um,
Yeah.
so let me ask you this. Everyone has a perception of you. Family, friends, clients, everyone that knows you in different capacities, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Team player. I want to be a team player. I want to be like, hey, listen, what do you need? How can I help you? And I think it takes strength to do that. I
Yeah.
think you have to have your stuff together. You need to be organized. You need to be, a strong person in order to start giving to other people. It's like when you're on an airplane, right? What do they tell you when you're on your airplane? Make sure you put your mask on first before you help a child. I think it's the same in life. Like you need to have your stuff together. If you're disorganized or broke or all over the place, it's harder for you to help other people. So it's important for you to like be on top of things and then show the strength to help others. And so I wanted to be that team player. Like I've got my stuff together and I can be giving to others. I think that want that perception.
So let's say tomorrow you magically make your way to Disney World and there's a new ride that's a time machine and you can climb in and go back in the annals of the NBA and see one game. You get to feel it. You're there. What game are you going to?
One game? Oh my gosh. You know what? It would probably be a college. Can I do a college game
Oh,
instead?
you can do what you could do any genre or any sport, but one game. Where are you going?
Game? I wanted to see the UCLA Houston game where Lou Alcindor got poked in the eye, but like it had such a sellout crowd, and that was one of the UCLA's only losses. Because that game, from what you read about it and kind of see about it, it was just intense. It was an insane game. So I think that would be the one I want to go just check out.
I love those answers because I wouldn't have even thought about that. But there are some seminal games, like that game that Wilt
Yeah.
Chamberlain scored all those points. Like, what was going on? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And and believe it or
Yeah.
not, Kansas City used to have a team called the Kings, and I think Wilt played on our team at one point.
Oh, really? I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
just like
Yeah.
for a brief period of time, you know.
Just
So
traveling around. Yeah, that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah, got around. So most importantly right now, if anybody wants to reach out, hire you questions, any of the good business and any of the hybrid of worlds that you exist in, where do they go? How do they do it?
I think the easiest is the website. I know that's not supposed to be your answer, but like it's got all the stuff on
Sure.
it, so I always give the answer. It's livelocalwarmmarketing.com, and you go there and you can either buy the book about the framework that I've created or see the blog, which I give you as much information as I can and like helpful tips. Um, or if you have the 5 day challenge, which is a quick and easy diet version of the framework I teach, and you can just test it out for yourself. I want people to get like a test run before they do anything else, or even the framework itself. Like all the stuff's on there. That's the place to go and kind of just see how referral marketing could work for you.
Excellent. Billy, I'll put all those links in the show notes. So great to meet you, man. Thank you so much for taking a minute out. Best of luck with everything.
Man, thanks for having me on the show. This is great. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.